What's good with y'all? My name is Papa Ewell. I'm a junior broadcast journalism major from Howard University, and I'm here to tell a story about the Howard football team. I know they don't get a lot of love these days, but I feel their story deserves to be told. Now we all know about the esteemed brilliance of Howard University, the real HU, the Mecca, sitting on the hilltop in the middle of the chocolate city, one of the most prestigious, if not the most prestigious university in all the land. And being as such, it seems that every aspect of this university is covered extensively, whether it be politics, entertainment, fashion, culture, education, you name it, it's been covered. Yet when it comes to sports, particularly football, the university doesn't tend to get as much attention. Maybe that could be attributed to the fact that people just don't know about the story of Howard football or the history behind it. Well, that's why I'm here. I'm here to take you through the highs and the lows of the Howard football team. The good, the bad, the very, very ugly, you will know about it. I've got some great interviews with a few Howard students, as well as one from a former player talking about his experience with the team. So follow me, hop on board as I take you through Howard football's journey to illustriousness. I feel it only be appropriate that, given that I was here at the time of this moment, that we start this journey right at its peak. September 2nd, 2017, arguably Howard football's finest hour. The Bison defeated the Las Vegas Rebels 43-40 that day, and what was and still is the biggest point spread upset in college football history, as the team came in as whopping 45-point underdogs. The result sent shockwaves throughout the college football world, and it sparked a truly special season for the Bison, as they finished 7-4, second in their conference, and garnered their first winning season in 5 years. Led by star quarterback Caylin Newton, the future truly looked bright for the Bison. Unfortunately, the team was not able to recreate that same success the following season. Despite being ranked second in preseason conference polls, they ended up finishing fourth. With the lack of such a famous and emotional win against Las Vegas like they'd had the previous year, the team was truly unable to recapture that momentum and drive and togetherness that such an emotional win can garner, and they'd ended up finishing a disappointing 4-6. Second-year head coach Mike London resigned shortly after. I figured now was the appropriate time to go back and see Howard's more significant moments in their recent history. In 1978, the team was admitted into the NCAA's Division I FCS program. They didn't make much noise until 1987 when the team made news after an internal investigation found that the team had been using at least 3 ineligible players. Their conference title was stripped, and they were forced to forfeit all of their games that year, turning a 9-1 conference-winning success into a 0-10 failure. Good times were just around the corner for the Bison, however. In 1993, under head coach Steve Wilson, they finished 11-1, but lost in the first round of the FCS playoffs. Just 3 years later, the team won the conference and won the Heritage Bowl against Southern University. Unfortunately, that's about as much success as this Howard football team was able to gain in its earlier years. Since the turn of the century, in 19 seasons of play, they've had just 4 winning seasons. This season, the Bison have truly disappointed. As of this recording, the team is now 1-8 and is sitting in third from last in the conference. While disappointing, the season has certainly not been without controversy. Just last week, it was reported that first-year head coach Ron Prince was placed on administrative leave after being accused of abusive behavior by at least one Howard parent. According to the Washington Post article, the parents sent a letter to the school claiming that the coach had, quote, called players cowards, threatened investigations for point shaving, and telling a player that he was going to federal prison, end quote. All of this, coupled with star quarterback Caylin Newton entering the transfer portal after just 4 games, has turned this season into an absolute disaster. Now, I talked to a student who works in the athletic department, and he gave me his perspective on watching and covering the football team, both as a fan and both working for the athletic department, and the experiences that that gave him.
My name is Arthur Cribbs.
Okay, Arthur, do you follow the Howard football team?
Yeah, I work with the Howard. I work with Howard Department. So, I work with Howard Athletics, which is the Howard University athletic department, and so I help out with the football games on a weekly basis.
So how many games have you gone to this season?
So I've gone to 3 games this year, 1 away game in Maryland and 2 home games.
Nice. So obviously the team has kind of struggled a bit this year, as you well know. If the team was better, would that encourage you to go to games more often?
Yeah, so although I work with the team, I'd definitely be more excited every Saturday if the team was more competitive, kind of on a daily basis. I know that the team's going to lose, and so there's less excitement. The team was more interesting even in the beginning of the year when Kalen Newton was on the team, but now that he's gone, it's even more predictable that the team's going to lose.
Yeah, having a player like that will definitely generate attention,
Yeah.
being the little brother of a star.
Yeah.
You know. So in the games you went to, what was the experience like?
Yeah, so from a fan perspective, it was definitely fun. Just there's so much culture, and I think that's all put in display at the football games, whether it's the cheerleaders, the band, and the game itself. From a working perspective, I also enjoy it just because I get to see what video production is like while still following the sport I love, which is football.
For this story, I found it imperative to get the perspective from somebody who had been there, somebody who went to the meetings, went to the practices, and who suited up and went to war each and every Saturday afternoon. I got in contact with Adrian Owusu. Owusu played offensive lineman for the team last year before unfortunately having to leave this year due to personal reasons. He talked about his experiences playing under Coach Prince, as well as what it felt like to him to play football for the team, as well as his outlook for the team going into the future. Here's how it looked.
My name is Adrian Owusu. I'm a sophomore finance major from Maple, New Jersey, by way of Ekwe Ghana, and I'm a former football player here at Howard University. My experiences on the football team, there were a lot of ups and downs for last season. I had a lot of bonds with the old coaches because those are the coaches that recruited me, and it was just a better atmosphere. And when they all left, things started looking downhill. The former coach who was just placed on administrative leave, Coach Prince, was actually very disrespectful towards a lot of players, a lot of female workers, and he just held no boundaries or he held no barriers to the way he spoke to players and what he had them do. For instance, he probably had us up from around 7 o'clock, and we would get out of practice, or we would leave Cook Hall, which is the meeting room. We would leave there at around 10 at night. So those hours were just excruciating. Trainers told him over and over again, if you keep working the players like this, they'll all get injured. By the time the season came, around 20% of the team, maybe 30% was injured. So that also had a really big impact. He kicked off a lot of starters who held a lot of crucial parts, and clearly, he wasn't doing a good job. So my experiences with him as a coach, honestly, I do not prefer him. I honestly don't like him, and I feel like it was a negative experience, which is why I stepped away from the team, and most other players did. What it meant for me to play for the team, it meant a lot. Honestly, back where I'm from, we really didn't have a lot. Football was really the biggest thing that really kept my head on straight. It kept my grades up because I needed to keep it up so I could play football in high school. It was more of a disciplinary thing because I learned a lot of lessons through football. And I learned, and I also gained a lot of bonds from football. So, having brothers on the team to surround you is just a really, really big thing. And football really means family for real. So it meant a lot for me to be on the football team. Having to step away from that really hurt me. And on the current state of it now, currently with him not being there, placed on administrative leave, I feel like there's more of a positive impact because from what I've heard from players on the team now is that practice is more lively. The weight room was more lively. They had better hours. The new coach, who is Coach Aaron Kelton, he's actually brought a lot of morale to the team, which should help. But again, the damage that has been done cannot really be fixed too easily. So I do not really expect, any much more from this team, especially under a temporary interim head coach. But I do hope that my team does perform well under these situations, because there are better situations than they were before. And those are my thoughts on the football team.
And that's the story on Howard football's journey. Maybe it's not too aptly named. Maybe too illustriousness isn't too accurate. We're kind of nowhere near illustriousness right now, sitting at 1-8. But hey, it's the journey, not the destination. So I relent. Doing this story, it made me realize that Howard students just want pride. They want to have pride in their football team. Howard students, we're very prideful. We're very proud of being Bison. Whether the administration is doing some crazy stuff or financial aid is getting us down or our professors are doing us dirty, not raising our C to an A, we have pride in being Bison. And the simple fact of the matter is the football team is not instilling us with enough pride. People are not proud to see their football team lose 79-0 and be the joke on the internet. That doesn't make us proud. So why do we have to acknowledge you? You have to give us a reason to be proud. You heard what the students I talked to said. They said if the team was better, they would want to come watch. They would be more invested. If we're better, if it looked like we gave a crap, they would want to show out and come to games more and be proud in being Bison. I remember in my freshman year during the magical 2017 season, I stayed in Cook Hall, which is the hall right across the street from Green Stadium, which is where the Howard football team plays their games. And for the last home game of the season, me and my friends, we didn't have tickets. So what we decided to do was, we lived on the first floor. We decided to go all the way up to the third floor, plop our chair down in front of a window that had a clear view of Green Stadium, and we watched us beat Morgan State in our last home game of the season in a wonderful football game. Something tells me that the Howard freshmen of this year living at Cook Hall aren't really rushing to run up the stairs and watch their football team play this year. That's what I feel like it's really all about. Give me a reason. I could have been doing anything else that Saturday afternoon. I could have been doing homework. I could have been in my room just chilling, doing nothing. But I wanted to spend 3 hours of my day watching my school play football. Give kids a reason to do that. Give us a reason to want to support you. And then the journey to illustriousness will become a lot clearer for you. I got one more year left before I get out of here, and hopefully next year this Howard football team gives some kids a chance to run up those stairs. Thanks for watching. See you next time.